Welcome to the Love That For You podcast, where every week you're invited to dream big, laugh often, and celebrate the extraordinary stories of those who inspire. Your story matters, and I love that for you. I am so excited to announce a brand new sponsor for the podcast, Sort and Store. Okay, Erin is one of my very good friends. She started this company, Sort and Store, and I can personally vouch that they're amazing, not only because I see the work she does, but I have hired her personally to come into my home and help me organize multiple spaces. When I asked her what she wanted to share about her business on this podcast, here's what she said. Between running a business and two busy, sports-loving girls all over the state, I know firsthand how quickly clutter can become chaos. By creating long-lasting organizational systems that are easy to maintain, we've been able to create routines that make it easy to restore the peace and enjoy our home, allowing our family to spend more time doing the things that we love. At Sort and Store, we strongly believe your home should be your refuge and sanctuary, not your cause of stress. Our mission is to help busy families overcome the overwhelming spaces in their homes, giving back the time to spend on the things that matter most. Mention Queen City Connect or Love That For You when booking and receive $50 product credit to the Container Store to be used towards your session. Haley, you're here on the Love That For You podcast. We're going.
I'm so excited.
And it's your first ever podcast.
Literally my first ever.
That makes me I honestly feel honored. We've got our poppies. Cheers to the poppies. Which flavor did you get?
Orange. So good.
Is it good? I actually don't think I've had that one.
Oh, it's so good.
And I have the strawberry lemon.
I like that one.
So, okay. So I'm going to have you put the mic right to your face. There we go.
So
perfect.
Right
and we can adjust it so we can still see each other
okay.
too. So just feel free to just do whatever you need to do with that.
Perfect.
I am so excited that you're here in studio because we have a lot to talk about because we are in real life friends.
Yes.
But life just gets crazy. You're popping out babies. You're saving the world with your refrigerator weekly hauls. And I am just like, I need her in studio. I need to see her face. And if we're going to talk, we might as well record it.
100%.
So that's what we're doing.
I'm so excited. I know. I love this.
Great.
I love this for me and for you.
I know. Isn't it the name of the podcast is so fitting because people come in and I could just be like, love that for you for a whole hour. So,
Great.
Okay, well, we're going to just jump right into your story. Who is Haley Hendel? How did you get to where you are today? Like, have you grown up in Charlotte your whole life? Did you move around? Who are you?
Yes. So born in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Moved to Georgia, lived there for a solid chunk of time. And then with my dad's job, we ended up moving to Charlotte. And so we've been here for like 17 years. So
okay.
I really call Charlotte home. And by Charlotte, I mean, Waxhaw.
Yeah.
Down in the South.
Yeah. Yeah. South Charlotte.
Yes. We have been here for a while now. I grew up here, went to my last years of elementary school here, middle school, high school, college.
Yeah.
I am a college dropout twice. By the way,
okay. Well, here's proof that you can still make it in life, folks.
Sometimes you just don't need the degree.
Yeah. So how old were you when you moved to Charlotte?
I was like going into 5th grade. So I was about 10.
Okay. I moved to Charlotte when I was close to that age. I was a little bit younger. I might have been like 6 or 7, but it's like really all I know too. Like we moved like 4 times before coming to Charlotte, but this is home.
For sure. I'm the same exact way. I feel like once you've laid your roots down too, it just becomes home. And it just feels like home too.
So did you ever, you're 28, right? I'm 31. We're about the same. At this point in life, age. It's like, whatever.
All the same thing.
It's all the same thing. Did you ever leave Charlotte and come back, or have you been here the whole time?
No, I am one of those girls that's like Kelsey Ballerini's song, Half My Hometown,
Yeah.
I stayed.
Yeah.
I always thought that I was going to leave.
Yeah.
I think that growing up, I was like, I am going to get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave my parents, leave my family. And I just never did that.
You're like, actually, this place is great.
Yeah.
And I'm
the
good.
Thought of going far away from school. So I went to UNC Charlotte for a year and a half. Thought I was going to be a physical therapist, like own my own practice, the whole 9. And even going to Charlotte, I was like, okay, this is perfect. It's like less than an hour away. So it still felt like I was far. But like I went to High Point to go visit. and I was like, "Oh, this is too far from my mom
Yeah.
and dad." Like, I love being with my family. They
Yeah.
are truly, like, my favorite people to be around, and that's just something that's been instilled in us for years, and so I'm like,
Okay. Yeah.
I can't leave them, I
Yeah.
don't really want to either,
Yeah.
you know?
I feel exactly the same way. Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have a
Okay.
younger sister and a younger brother.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're the
Yeah.
oldest. I have an older sister and an older brother. I'm the
Oh, I love
youngest,
it.
but both families of 5. So
Yeah.
that's that yeah, I went away. I mean, even for me when I went to college, I was about 2 hours away
Yeah.
and it was almost too far for me. Like
Yeah.
I was coming home on weekends and then I ended up going to Atlanta for about 5 years and was like, I'm good. Like I'm ready to be home with
Yeah.
my family and it's been so great.
Well, and I feel like I honestly feel like I never really had a chance to even go out. You know how people,
Mm,
like, will go to college typically and then they move away
yep,
for a job or just to go, like, experience
sure.
something new. For me, it was literally a year and a half at school. I came home, met my husband, we dated for a year. I
Okay.
was off school working, and then we got married and literally were like, "Buy the house, have the
Yeah.
baby," and that was that. So
Yeah.
we were like, "Here."
Yeah. You didn't meet him in school. You met him after?
Well, we knew each other in high school, went to the same high school.
Okay, fun.
Yeah, so we both dated different people.
Yep, that
And so,
happens.
like, we were in passing all the time.
Okay.
And then he was home for they had done something with baseball, like they ended their season early.
Okay.
And then I was home from exams. So we met each other at the gym. Yeah. And he was literally, this is my
Okay.
thought process.
Not me going back to the
Yeah.
gym. Just
You're
kidding.
like,
I'm in a
maybe I need
gym.
to go.
I
Uh
my problem is I'm in a gym that's like all women. I'm like, Morgan, what are
yeah.
you doing? Like you've got to put yourself in position to meet someone. Like everywhere I go, it's like my small business community is
Yeah.
women. All my church friends are primarily women or like the husbands of the women.
Yeah.
Golly, I got to go to another gym.
Yeah, listen, I'm not even gonna lie to you. My thought process when I saw him, because I was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure that's Andrew."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm gonna go run on the treadmill next to him because, of course, I'm gonna
Brilliant.
run faster
Yeah.
and longer. Why would you
Yes.
not?" Walk up to the treadmill, like pulls out his they didn't have AirPods back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
His earphones, and he was like, "Hey, Haley," and I was like, "Oh my god, you know my name, literally."
Because did you go to a larger high school?
Yeah, I
Okay,
went to
so you
Cuthbertson,
knew
yeah.
it's not like you were like in a class of 10 people. So
No,
you knew
no,
of each
for
other,
sure.
but you were shocked that he knew your name.
100%. I was
Okay.
like, "Oh my god," and then, slid into the DMs on Facebook.
Hundo.
I was like,
Let's
"Let's go."
go. Have you seen the viral TikTok of the girl? Yeah.
Only because of you. I didn't know this was a thing, and then you shared it, and now I'm like, "Rabbit hole, let me figure this
Yes.
out."
I think it's fake. I think
You
she's
know
just doing
what?
it for views.
I I think it's clickbait. I do.
Yeah.
You know what, though? If it's
It's
not,
genius.
do your
You know
thing.
what? She won. She won. Either way,
For
she won. She
sure.
got a date, so she won. She is viral on social media. She
She
won.
won.
It doesn't matter. She
You're
won.
doing the thing on social media and
Oh
real
man.
life.
Okay,
Like,
for people who are listening, they're like, "What the heck are you talking about?" It's this girl who sees okay, so the video on TikTok and Instagram is her sitting in a car telling the story. She sees a guy in a grocery store. She thinks he's cute. She goes up close enough to him to see the name on his credit card. That's
which is
where I was
a
lost.
little too close.
I
Are
can't
you
even see the
peering?
name on my own credit card.
No, your eyes are really good,
Yeah.
or you're like, you're right up on
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah. So sees his name, finds him on social media, somehow gets connected to his mom, finds out the mom's in a book club, finds the book club on Facebook. So now we've crossed social media platforms.
We're
Finds
doing
the book
it.
club. We are invested. And I'm so invested in the story because it's like, is it insanity or is she a
Like,
genius? Like
is
it
she
really,
brilliant? But you know what, though?
yeah,
The guy's not gonna know about it until what if they get married?
yeah.
And then she's like, by the way,
Yeah.
this is
Well, that's
how
the
I
whole thing
met you.
with how viral this video has gotten. If it is real, she's blown her cover. Because what
Honestly,
happened is
yeah.
she went to this book club. She sees the mom. She tells the mom she's single. The mom says she has a single son, which we all knew,
Mhm.
and gives him her number. And then he calls her and they go on a date. And then she has like a follow up one. But like, you would never post that. The guy would
No,
see that.
he
It
would.
has to be
Maybe
fake.
he's like not on social media.
Well, honestly, probably a green flag.
Yeah, we like that.
We like that. I mean, either know what you're doing with it or
Or
be off
just
of
be
it.
off of it.
Yeah.
Andrew's off of
Anyway,
it.
Okay. See, it's probably a good thing. Like, how
Right?
are we spending our time?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyway, wild. Social media is a wild place.
it
Okay.
is.
Speaking of social media, though, okay, so your world is largely social media. You have a huge following. It has not always been that way.
No.
What was your social media before you had the large following? And then, like, how did you get to that?
It has been quite a journey, but it has been so fun. And
Yeah,
honestly, I feel like it has helped shape me tremendously. So, years back, like high school, let's call it, Instagram just popped out. We were posting with every weird filter on there
yeah,
19 times a day. Like,
yeah.
here's what I'm doing with my life, right? So, I was
Your
pretty
feed was your story.
for sure because
Yeah,
there were no stories. It
right,
was just like, here's what I'm doing,
right now.
check me out, let's go, you know? And so I was very comfortable sharing stuff on social media back when I was in high school. I'd lived a very healthy life, but it was never something that I really posted about. Like
Yeah,
pictures from track and pole vaulting, you know, or like pictures with my friends, and like that was
yeah,
it. And then, like I said, went to school. And then once I was in college, because I was going to school to be a PT, I
mhm,
really wanted to own my own physical therapy
that's
practice.
right.
And I thought that was going to be like the greatest thing ever. And
Yeah,
then someone came into my class to talk about their day to day schedule. And I was like,
hard
I'm
pass.
out. That's horrible. You know, we love PTs though.
Yeah.
We
Oh, we
do.
love them, we need them,
They're
but
fantastic, but just not for me.
yeah.
So I left school. And at that rate, I was so invested in kinesiology and biology and chemistry and really
You're
understanding
like,
the
"I'm
body.
liking the structure of this, I'm liking the
Yes,
classes."
yes. I loved it all, and that kind of prompted me into that season where I got involved with a health and fitness company,
Yeah,
and I really enjoyed it, and it was something that for me was really going to propel me in a way that I didn't even think possible.
right.
And at that point, you know, it was great workouts, great
Yeah,
nutrition, and it really allowed me to share my journey and my story in a way that I never had before.
right.
And it was really fun. It was very fun. I was a young mom. At that point, I had just found out I was pregnant. Like I was
Okay.
the
You've got
first
3 kids.
yes.
Okay,
This is when I was pregnant with Knox.
okay.
And well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it started when I got married. It was right before I got married. And so use that to really get me in great shape for my wedding, as most people are like, you know, I want to feel good on my wedding day.
Yeah,
And so was kind of involved with that, went through my wedding. We found out we were pregnant 3 months later, which was absolutely insane. And I was 20 years old,
yeah. Oh,
pregnant.
wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Like when every time I say it out loud, I'm like, I was a baby. I
Yeah,
was an infant. Um, Nuts.
yeah.
And so I
That's
was
great.
doing this at the time and still working, and it
Sure.
was something that was just a part of my day to day. I really started understanding more of the business side of social media, and I just kind of ran with it,
Yeah.
you know?
Were you learning it just on your own, or did you have people at that point you could talk to? Because I feel like now there are so many content creator professionals to have you help you, but
Yeah.
then it was like everyone was just kind of learning on their
It was a
own.
totally learn as you do type
Yeah.
situation, and I kind of liked it because everybody felt like a beginner.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
nobody was really the expert in the field. People had been doing it for years and years, but now there was this new platform. Things were still kind of on Facebook a little bit, so it was kind of navigating the waters, but it was really fun to do at the time because not many people were doing it.
Yes.
And
Which
so
is the best time to get on something.
for sure. And so I was loving it, rocking with it. And I did that for years. It was phenomenal during my pregnancies, postpartum. I felt great. And so in doing that, it allowed me to share just the journey of it all and my day
Yeah.
to day. And I think that's really what has attributed a lot of my success to, or where a lot of it can be attributed to, is because it allowed me to bring people into this space that I was creating, this
Mm,
community that I was creating. And at the time, I didn't realize it because I was so young, like
right.
the level of impact that it was going to have. And I think sometimes I still don't realize that because I'm like, oh, this is just my day to day. This is my daily life. And, you know, it's been really fun to share those
Yeah.
things. and just learning as I'm doing it. I haven't taken any courses, I haven't taken any classes. I don't feel like I do anything special except just share my
Just
daily
being
life.
real and
Yeah.
raw, which is what people want.
Yeah. And I feel like that's something that I really take a lot of pride in is the
Yeah.
relatability factor of it
Yeah.
because I'm not that mom on social media with her hair perfectly done every day and like wearing all like don't come to me for fashion advice
Yeah.
or like how to
Oh,
do
stop. You look
makeup.
adorable.
Well, thank you so much. This is like my one outfit I have. I'm usually an athleisure, but I can help you do everything in your kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm not the makeup girl, but I can help you find the right makeup, the cleaner
Yeah.
options.
Yes.
And that is something I feel like it's become so normal for me. And just
Yeah.
sharing those things and sharing my daily life and, sharing what the kids are doing. And it's been fun.
Yeah. I feel like it's not super easy. A lot of larger accounts that are really good really just focus on one specific thing. A lot of times it's not easy to have an account that has a lot of different things and you see it be successful because that person it's harder, but
Yeah.
you do a really good job of still showing your family life with the food and with the nutrition, but it's like we're here for Haley. Like whatever she put, like we're here for her. It's almost
Yeah.
like you're the brand.
Yeah.
And then, but we know that there is going to be consistency. I know every Sunday I'm going to see the fridge video. I know I'm going to see pictures of Scotty during the week. Like
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to see, but it's not just one thing. It's multiple things.
Yeah. And I feel like that's something that with what I was doing before in the health and fitness industry, it was very almost regimented, but not that it was forced by them. It was something that was engraved in my brain of like share your entire day, share
Mhm.
your entire life, pieces from your morning, your afternoon, your evening, share your food, share what you're doing with your kids, share what you're doing with your family. And I think that piece of it, although it wasn't something that was required of me, it just became very natural for me to
Yeah.
do. And I think that that's just a part of really like bringing people into that space. That is something I
Yeah.
really want to do. I want people to understand that what you see on social media is genuinely what you get in real
Yeah.
life,
If we came over to your house, it's going to look like what we're seeing on
Yes,
social
and I'm
media.
gonna be honest with you, like, my house is usually a trash can most of but my fridge, though, like, my fridge
Yeah.
will always be clean. But I just want people to know, like, I
Yeah.
don't have it all together,
Yeah.
and I think that sharing that,
Yeah.
there's a lot of good that comes in sharing that because I will share that. I mean, I share the good, the bad, the messy, the hellacious
Yeah.
days, and there are days where I'm just like, "I need to get off,"
Yeah. Yeah.
and I used to not be like that. It
Yeah.
used to be like you show up no matter what and you post no matter what, and I could not take breaks from it because
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I was like, this is my job and I need to do it and like put everything into it.
Mhm.
But it became so consuming. So I feel like now I've gotten to the point where I can still do the things and bring people in, but it's not all I think
And
about.
it's not taking away from your life. And that's what people need to understand too is like you might feel very involved with someone's life if you're watching them on social media, but at the end of the day, you're still only seeing a few minutes of an entire day.
Literally.
So there's that,
Yeah,
you
and you're
know?
not going to see it all. And I feel like social media is such a weird thing because we feel wildly connected to people that we don't know,
Yeah.
but we get very invested very quickly. I was just having this
Yes.
conversation the other day. Like, we are more likely to send $10 to someone's GoFundMe for their dog that their leg has to get amputated. But like if your sister or your brother posts that, you're like, really? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
It's a weird
It
thing.
is
It's
crazy.
like there's a level of vulnerability that comes with this type of connection that you almost it becomes removed.
Mhm.
But then there's also a level where you're like, I can be more vulnerable because I actually don't know you in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a weird thing. So
Yeah.
to find that balance, I feel like that's when you really have it. You have it
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I agree. Do you feel like you started kind of because I know you went to school for PT.
Mhm.
Did you kind of start just your involvement with all things fitness and health? Did that come at the same time that you were looking at food choices and health in that way? Or did that come later? Or,
It was kind of this weird mix, honestly, throughout my life. So I grew up in a very healthy household. My
yeah,
mom, my
I was going to ask
grandma,
about that.
yes. Um, Very good choices. You know, we weren't the kids that had like the Gushers and Little Debbie's. Like that
Yeah.
was a no go in our
Yeah.
house. Which, of course, at the time I'm like, Mom, you are no fun. But
Yeah.
now I'm like, thank you,
Like
Mom.
trying to trade with people at the lunch
Yeah, I'm
table.
like, "I'll give you my carrots," you know, and they're like, "Absolutely not. We do not want that." And so, growing up, very fortunate that I lived in a healthy household. I was pretty active as a kid. I did gymnastics, cheerleading. Going into high school, I started to run track and I pole
Okay.
vaulted, and that was kind of a time.
Wow.
Yeah, fun
That
fact.
is so
That's
cool.
always, like, my fun fact. Like, I was a pole vaulter. It was
That is
really
cool.
fun, honestly. It was probably, like, the highlight. I wish I would've taken it a little bit more seriously in high school. I mean, I did, but it was fantastic. Me and, like,
Yeah.
my 2 best
Where do you go
friends.
with that? The Olympics?
I mean, I wish. One of the girls I went to high school with, one of my friends that I pole vaulted with, she went and did it in college, and she was incredible.
I guess that would be a college thing. Is there a professional pole
Yeah.
vaulting?
Yeah, it's incredible. It really is a
I guess there
wild.
has to be in order for it to be in the Olympics.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
very cool. It was a very fun sport that I never saw
Okay.
myself doing. And so at that point in high school, I think I kind of fell into like the typical like high school, oh my gosh, I need to work out as much as
Yeah.
possible to look as good as possible and
Yeah.
eat. Not that I never struggled with eating disorders or anything, but I was always under eating now that I can kind of see that I was. And I was totally like, I can't have sandwiches. It's too much bread. It's too many carbs,
Without actually knowing the science of like your body actually needs a little bit of X,
Exactly,
Y, and
exactly.
Z.
Because at that point, I wasn't really looking into it for that. It was
Yeah.
definitely a superficial type
Yeah.
of thing. And then when I went to college, I kind of lived college life, went out and partied, but I was also very diligent in my studies.
Didn't
And
eat Gushers, but boy, did I
yeah,
live it up in
I
college.
loved cookout.
We made up for it in college.
Listen, if you went to UNC Charlotte, then it was like cookout was the jam,
Dude, Cookout was the place where I was in college too. I mean,
right?
that's oh, so
It's a
good.
dream, really, because it's cheap and it's good. And so, anyway, that was like my weekend thing, but during the week I was pretty straight on down the path. And as I was learning more about my body, it prompted me to take better care of my body
Yeah.
during the week. Right? The weekends I was still like college girl, but once I left school and had that basic understanding and
Yeah.
knowledge of my body, and then I got started into the health and fitness industry, and that job, I was like, "Okay, my eyes are opened a little bit." I
Yeah.
probably wasn't making the best decisions,
Mhm.
and so started getting on a nutrition plan where I still felt like I was under eating now that I look back at it, but it really helped me understand, okay, this is what my portions need to look like.
Right.
I do need to be eating more protein and more veggies and really prioritizing
Yeah.
a good diet. That was huge for me. And so pairing that with my workouts at the time, I was like, okay, this is great. I love it. And it was very by the books. I was following what they were telling me to do, and it was working for
Yeah.
me, and I really did enjoy it. And I just think over the years, I stopped taking things at face value and really wanted to understand for myself.
Mm.
So I started researching
Yeah.
and I started educating myself and I started reading and I got really, really into reading health books and just understanding like different parts of the
Yeah.
body, understanding modalities and how the body moves and how things work together and understanding more about our brain and the gut brain connection and how the choices you make for your nutrition are really going to play a major role in how everything else in your body
Yeah.
works. So the more I was reading, the more I was understanding, and I was like, okay, I think I need to do some things on my own
Yeah.
and really kind of steer away from everything I had known for the last like 6.5 years.
Mhm.
And I was like, maybe there's something else out there. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I know my body well enough that strength training is really great for it. I walk very frequently and I don't really follow much of a set nutrition plan other than, it's very, very protein
Yeah.
focused. And
Whole foods,
like
protein
single
focused.
ingredient foods, a friend of mine always has told me this, like, don't eat like an a-hole. And I'm like, I love that. And I
Yeah.
say that very frequently because I'm
Yeah.
like, seriously, you need to feed your body and treat it
Yeah.
with respect,
Right.
and something I tell moms, because I feel like, listen, as a mom, we're always making our kids snack foods. It's like PB&J, whatever it is. not just PB&J. My kids don't even really eat PB&Js. But if you're
Yeah.
gonna go make them lunch and you're gonna like cut the crust off their sandwich, where's that crust gonna go? Into the garbage can. But we'll like take the plate and like take nibbles of it. I'm like, if you're gonna put it in your garbage, don't put it in your body.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I've been kind of living by too, is treating your body with respect and giving it what it needs. It's going to benefit you so much in the long run.
Yeah.
And I think now too, to have gone from this superficial type of health and fitness to now viewing it for longevity,
Yeah.
I think that is the mindset, and that shift changed everything for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a mom or any woman who's listening right now and is just like, I want to make better choices. I want to be more active, but I like, and they see your life and your lifestyle and they're like, I love that for you. That's just not like, I can't make this like an entire lifestyle, but I want to make better choices.
Yeah.
What's like a step one for someone who wants to do better, but doesn't even know where to start and just feels overwhelmed? Because for them, it's like, all I eat are beef sticks and gushers. So to change it up, my whole life is gonna change,
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Love me a
And
beef stick too,
yeah,
but
listen, I love a chomp stick.
yes.
Shout out to chomps. No, but I think that it's so overwhelming because honestly, social media has made it really overwhelming.
Yes.
There are so many
Because you almost feel
things.
guilted, like, well, if I'm not gonna give my kids goldfishes, Susie on Instagram is making goldfish. And it's like, I don't have time to make homemade goldfish,
For sure.
but I wanna make better
Yeah.
choices.
And I think too that there's just so much noise out there that you really have to just kind of like put your blinders on and understand that you're going to try and do your best, but you also need to do what's required
Yeah.
for you to feel your best and to give your best to your kids. And I think the way to start this is to, and it's going to sound crazy, it's going to take a little bit of time, but to really take inventory of what's in your home already.
Mm,
And where are some areas that you can do little swaps? Because those, and it may not even be from a bad to the best. Maybe it's bad to better,
that's good.
you know, taking it in bite sized pieces and doing it a couple of things at a time. This is not like go through your pantry and your fridge and literally clean house and rid every bad ingredient, but start being more mindful of it, right? Maybe your kids and you love Oreos. There's a better option out there that maybe doesn't have as many ingredients or inflammatory oils. Same thing with snack foods. I'm looking a lot more into that currently because snacks are expensive.
Yeah.
So if I can make it at home, because
And
I
sometimes the healthier snacks are way more expensive than the
for sure, and a
worse
lot of
snacks.
times even the healthier snacks appear to be healthier, but then you look at the ingredients
Mm,
and you're like, "Oh my gosh." And so really something that I encourage moms and parents to do is to take inventory first and maybe make a list. Put it in your notes on your phone. You know, maybe it's the dressings and condiments that you're giving your kids. Maybe it's the snack foods that you're giving your kids, the cereals. There's so many different things out there now where there is a better
yeah.
option.
Even like yogurts. Like you could be giving
Yes,
your kid a yogurt and there just could be a better option that has way less sugar.
exactly. And that's something that I kind of look into as well with the snack foods is like there are a lot of things that have added dyes in them that you wouldn't even think about
Yeah.
looking for. And so next time you're at the grocery store and you're going to go buy X, Y, or Z, just take a look at the back of it.
Yeah.
Look at the ingredients in it and then maybe compare,
Mm.
you know? And it seems something that's it's so tedious and it's like, do I really need to do that? This is going to take forever. Again, don't go clean house right now, but when something is empty, that's the time to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to search to see if there is a better option out there.
Yeah.
And doing that, I think really breaks it down and makes it a little bit more manageable for
Yes.
you. Because it can be overwhelming, right? If you're thinking about even just like cleaning products,
Yeah.
and you're wanting to use better cleaning products, you're like,
Right.
oh my gosh, I'm going to go spend $200 because I have full bottles of everything. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Wait until they're
Right.
empty, you
Use what you
know?
have, but then
For
make a
sure.
different, wiser choice next
Yes,
time.
use this time to research and
Yeah.
ask questions. I mean, Lord, you can Google anything these days,
Yeah.
but reach out to someone. You can reach out to me anytime that you want. Ask me, hey, it can be something so small.
Yeah.
What's a better option for hand soap? I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
What's a better option for milk, And again, going from maybe what's not so great to the next best thing. Because then eventually, when you're at the point where you're like, I want the best, right?
Yeah.
Because even those small tweaks now will do massive things for you, for your results, for your family, for your energy levels, for your
Yeah.
well being. And then you get to a point where maybe you've done that for 2 years and you're like, that's kind of where I am, right?
Yeah.
I look back at grocery hauls when Andrew and I first got married and we didn't have a lot of money. We were doing the best that we could.
Yeah.
I wasn't choosing everything perfectly, but I was making better options.
Right.
Then we started having kids. Again, more mouths to feed. We're bringing in a little bit more money so we could afford to get better groceries,
Yeah.
better food. And at that point is again when I really started diving in and understanding, well, I don't want to eat that. I'm not going to give it to my kid,
Right.
So making those next better options. And now that I've been doing this for the last 8, 9 years and I've had multiple kids, I'm at the point where, you know, I can do that best option
Yeah.
where it's grass-fed butter, it's grass-fed
Yeah.
beef, in
But you've been very gradual to get there.
100. I mean, it's taken years,
Yeah.
literal years. And I'm not perfect, Lord, I just made homemade Cheez-Its to see if I could do it,
I saw those. They looked great.
They were fantastic. And of course, everyone's going to say, well, why are we not abstaining from that? We can just buy Cheez-Its. Sure, you can. And I don't shame anyone. I've
Yeah.
bought them before.
Yeah.
It's okay. There's also a better
White cheddar.
option.
Oof, yum. So good.
I know. I like them extra crispy too. I'm like, woo.
Ugh.
But, even that, like, there's a better option for crackers out there. You don't have
Yeah.
to make them from scratch.
Right.
But if you have the time and you want to,
Yes.
try it.
That's the thing. If
Yeah.
you have the time and energy and resources to do it, go for
And it
it.
doesn't make you a bad mom if you don't do
Yeah.
that. I just want to put that out there. You are not a bad mom if you're not home making food in your
Yeah.
kitchen from
Yeah.
scratch,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
I had on another person on the podcast, and she's incredible mom and counselor, and she's written some books for new moms. And her point is that she says in the book, and she said on the podcast, was like, if you're wondering if you're a bad mom, you're not. The bad moms don't wonder if they're a bad mom.
Yep.
So like if you have this like guilt or shame of like, "Ugh, am I a bad mom?" No. The fact that you're even asking that, could you do better in some areas? Sure, we all could.
For
I
sure.
could be a better cat mom. We
Yeah.
could get into that. But like you're doing great. You don't have to only eat at Whole Foods in order to be a good
No.
mom. We're just trying to make better choices. Like the world is, as there are more production sites and doing mass production of whatever, there's going to be ingredients that, like, if we can avoid them, let's try to.
Exactly.
But no one, this is not a shaming area.
No.
Upstairs in my pantry are Doritos. Like,
Yeah,
but also I don't make a habit of buying them.
exactly.
And I'm pretty sure they're actually from, I think they're from the Super Bowl party. Probably need to throw them away, honestly. But like, I think it's just more of because for me, I'm the only person that lives in this house. And so it's like what I buy, I will eat. So I try to make a habit where I actually don't buy any snacky or dessert foods.
Yeah,
Because if I do, there's no one here to share them with. I'll eat all of it.
exactly.
So I try to keep like cheese sticks, chomps, like those types of things
Yeah.
of like, okay, well, when I am hungry, that's my only option.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that right there is what prompted me to start cleaning out my fridge.
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, but I know that if I buy something, and even for myself, it's not
Yeah.
even my kids, if I buy it, the chances of me going into my pantry to eat it increase drastically. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like having a hankering for some junk food and be like, let me go drive to the grocery store
No.
and buy. No. But if it's in my pantry, I'm sure as heck gonna go in there and grab it,
Yeah.
And so when I was on Instagram, this is what kind of prompted the whole fridge organization
Yeah.
setup. I was on Instagram and I saw so many restock videos. Actually, it was TikTok that really kind of got me started.
Okay.
So many like ASMR like restocks,
Yes.
right? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
It's so
But
satisfying.
100%. I could sit there for
Yeah.
hours,
Yeah.
And but the food that was going into the fridge, again, no shame, no judgment. It just was not food that I was giving my kids. And I was like, you
Okay.
know what? What if we could do this in a way that was a healthier
Yeah.
twist? And so I got started and I was, going to the local farmers markets to grab stuff because we have that here and it's amazing. And honestly, produce is cheaper there. And so I was going there, taking my kids, making them a part of it. And I realized that as I was keeping my refrigerator more stocked with vegetables and fruits that were
Yeah.
already cut up.
Yep.
They were already prepped and ready to go.
Yep.
The chances of me and my kids snacking on what we call fridge snacks increased
Yeah.
dramatically because everything was already prepped.
Yeah.
Like, if you give somebody the option between walking to the pantry and grabbing a bag of chips or walking to the fridge and grabbing out a cucumber and having to peel it and slice it and whatever, which one are you going to
Yeah.
choose? The chips. That's a
Yeah.
lot faster. But if you make it equally as enticing because it's already prepped and ready for you,
Yep.
you're gonna go grab it. And
Yeah.
now that my kids are old
I've
enough,
never thought about it that way, but that's so true.
I'm telling you, it's a
Like,
game changer. Even for me now, like, again, I don't always choose the best option, but because I have things prepped, and I'm not, I fell a victim to the whole like prep my breakfast, lunch, snack, have dinner already like set. I cannot do that anymore. I literally
maybe
cannot.
for a season of your life it worked,
Totally, it
but
did. But now with, like, 3 kids, I'm like, first off, my taste buds change on a daily basis.
yeah.
Lord knows I'm probably not gonna want the same thing for breakfast every day, unless it's like a breakfast burrito. I do like that on a daily
Yeah.
basis. But I realized that if the things were already prepped and I was hungry,
Yeah.
I would go to the fridge and be like, "You know what? I will have my red peppers and my
Yeah.
homemade
Because they're
hummus."
already sliced.
It's already there.
Yeah.
And it's easy to grab, and I'm also not buying the stuff that goes in my pantry. And if
Mm.
I am, it's got the better ingredients in it, and if you need me to share any of those, I definitely can, my healthier swaps for things, but I realized that it became something I didn't want, and the
Yeah.
more that you eat something, the easier it is to go and grab it because your taste buds want it. So if you're changing it and you're eating more whole foods, more single ingredient foods, that's something I would also encourage you to do. If you are sitting back and you're like, how can I make that next best step and make that healthier change? Really just try to focus on single ingredient foods,
Mhm.
less processed junk. That's a game changer.
Yeah.
But really having things prepped and stocked in my fridge,
Yeah.
it's so much easier. And my kids are old enough now where if they want a snack, and I kind of got into this mindset when I was pregnant with Scotty because I was exhausted. And I was like, I'm gonna have a new baby. I can't like hold a baby and be like slicing berries or put
Right.
her down all the time, you know? So because everything's already ready, when they're hungry, I'm like, go grab a fridge snack. And
Yeah.
they will grab the little plastic container or the mason jar,
Yep.
and they know that it's already there and ready for them.
Yeah.
And it makes my life so much easier during the week. It
Yeah.
does take time on the front end, but not more than 2 hours,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
just to set yourself up for success during the week.
Yeah. Do you feel like your kids, because now I'm wondering if there's someone listening that's like, if I offered my kids a fridge snack, they would throw down hard. So, like,
Yeah.
did your kids take time adjusting to that? Do they just naturally like that because it's all they've had? Or what was that like?
I really feel like my kids have grown up eating like that.
Okay.
So it is easier for them. However, if they're offered something different, of course they're going to be like, yeah, let's have that. You know,
Hmm.
like my parents' house, again, grew up very, very healthy. But my mom also buys, the goldfish and the Cheez Its and that stuff.
Sure.
So when they go to Gigi's house, it's like, oh, we get to have some fun snacks. But I was just talking to mom about this the other day. They went to Chick-fil-A and she got the boys milkshakes. And Knox, my oldest, he will drink the whole thing. He loves it. We don't give it to him often, but when he has one, he's like,
Yeah.
"Let's
It's a special
go."
treat.
But he'll also have his chicken and fries or whatever. But Brody literally would only drink a couple of sips and he's like, "No, I don't want this. It has too much sugar in it." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, did I just mess my kid up?"
That's amazing.
But it really is so interesting. And even to see like they live in the same house. They've been brought up the same exact way. They have the same things offered to
Everyone's
them, but
different.
they're so entirely different.
Yep.
And one will eat everything under the sun. And I swear to you, I'll make a delicious dinner. And Knox is like, I'm going to barf. I'm like, cool. I feel humbled. Thank you. I'm like, great. Just slaved
Mom's
over
just doing
this.
her
I
best.
just slaved over this hot stove for you. And that's how you treat me. But everyone's so different. And you
Yeah.
just, and that's something too that I really feel like I've kind of gotten down with my kids is dinner. I get asked about this a lot, right? People see what I make for dinner on social media and they're like, oh my God, your kids eat this? It depends on which one, honestly, Sharon,
Yeah.
but I offer it. And that is something I would encourage parents to do as well is
Yeah.
you have your kids plate and I don't remember the exact terminology. This is what we do. It's like offer them 5 different things. So you have the little portion of whatever's for dinner, but then you also give them a couple of different items, maybe it's strawberries, carrots, ants on a log or something that they're going to eat that's a little bit of a healthier
Yeah.
option and something fun for them to eat too because they're going to be more likely to eat what you made if it's a smaller portion of it and it's already on their plate with things that they already like because they're going to be eating and they're going to be getting enough,
Yeah.
but it may also encourage them to try something new. And it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a ton of it, but that is something that's really, really worked and explaining to them what food does for them,
Yeah.
like why we can't have sugar cereal for dinner every night, and talking to like my kids know if I offer them carrots, I'm like, what are carrots good for? They're like, oh, my eyes.
Yeah.
So it's like the teaching process too. And I just feel like it's helped them so much. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, my kids are not like, give me all the veggies all the time,
Yeah. They're
but
children.
yeah, exactly.
But
But they
they
will
are
eat
being
it
educated,
for
which is
sure.
so good. My sister, I forget the name of the brand. I'll have to look it up. But she has this card set and it's all about, it's like a food affirmation. It's really cool. And it goes through the different colors of foods and what the different colors are good for.
Oh,
And
I
so it's
love
like, and the
that.
like colors of foods and the shapes of foods and how those have like different properties of what they're good for. So
Yeah.
like foods that are shaped like a mushroom are good for your brain and it's like a
Yeah.
mushroom kind of looks like a brain and it's like goes through all of those. And I'm
I
like
love
that's
that.
brilliant.
You know what? And I really do think that in today's world, it's so different than how we grew up because there was that missing piece. It was the educational piece.
Yeah.
It was like, so this is good for you, this is bad for you. And now it's like, let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't ever say like, oh, that's bad for you, because I do sometimes say that because I'm like, it's just not as great
The
for
molten lava
you.
chocolate cake at Chili's is not good for you.
Yeah, it's
But
like it's
listen,
not.
we're not going to say no.
Um,
It's just
it
so
might
good.
it might be good for the soul, you
That's
know?
right. That's another
There
thing.
there's soul food out there. I'm not gonna say,
Yeah.
like, I don't eat that
There's food for
sometimes.
your body and food for your soul.
Exactly, and that's just how it is. But there's a way to do it where it's not you're not overdoing it,
Yes.
right?
That's
And I
great.
think that you also get to that place where you're like, is that really going to serve me?
Yeah.
It might taste good for a bite or 2, but then after that, it's the same taste,
Yeah.
and it's not doing anything for me. But I really think that having that education as parents now, in transferring that to your kids, that's a
Yeah.
game changer,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And it's also teaching yourself. Like I went over to my sister's house. This was a couple months ago, and she pulled out those cards and they were going over it. And at this point, they kind of all have it memorized. It's
Yeah.
adorable. But I was like, okay, I'm learning. I didn't know that orange food was good for your eyes, or
Yeah.
like I didn't. But now I know. So it's like I need this card set. But it's so good because I feel like growing up, like I feel like my parents did a really good job of feeding us good food, but we also did have like Gushers and Little Debbie's and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but it was like whatever's on your plate you're gonna eat, and I think that that was a great, like, lesson of, like, this was put in front of you, you're gonna be grateful for it, and maybe not eat the whole thing, but, like, you're not gonna not eat something,
Yeah.
but now it's like, "Okay, but let's talk about the ingredients and all of these things, and maybe we shouldn't have lasagna every night of the week,
Yeah.
and let's talk about why."
Yeah.
So, that's so good. That's so good. Well, I think you're doing a great job with all that. If someone's listening and they are ready to take that next step, for sure they're gonna follow you, so I'm gonna have you share your handle in just a second. But, like, how can people get connected to you, and are there different what are the different things that you offer to help people who want to make these better choices with fitness and health?
Yeah, for sure. So if you do want to follow me, my handle is underscore Haley Hendel. And feel free to shoot me a message anytime. Honestly, I love having conversations. Like I said earlier, if you have a question that even you think is so simple or it might be silly, it's really not.
Yeah.
I'm an avid voice texter. I will just tell you that right
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
like you will get my voice message back to you. You can send me an email, obviously, anytime too, and kind of just chat back and forth. Let's have a conversation, see where you're at and see what's a good fit for you. I don't personally offer any sort of nutrition program just because that's not my wheelhouse. I'm not a
Yeah.
dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist. I tell people I'm just a mom who has
Yeah.
experience. And I've walked through it and I feel like by now with everything that I've read and educated myself on and really gone through myself, I
Yeah.
have an understanding of what works for most people.
Yeah.
I always encourage, getting blood work done, getting labs done, and having
Yeah.
like a baseline for yourself too. And then understanding, okay, what are my next steps going to look like? Because it's different for everyone and it's
Right.
so bio individual. Even the food that we're eating, right? It differs person to person, but for the most part, everyone's kind of under this umbrella of like, this is generally what's going to be really helpful for you. So reach out to me, send me a message. I don't have anything that's like an offer for you that you can be a part of, but honestly, I will have a conversation with you. I will have a conversation with
Yeah.
anybody and really help them, because that is what I love
Yeah.
doing, you
And I
know.
feel like you do a great job of posting new things you're making and then sharing those recipes and stuff. So that's something that people, is that right? Am I
Yeah,
out?
yeah.
Okay.
Literally all throughout the week, I'm sharing different things in my stories, to my reels of recipes that we're making for myself and Andrew, more of like adult friendly, but also making it family approved and family friendly too, to where
Yeah.
maybe your kids will eat it. And if they're not going to eat it now, maybe they'll eat it eventually. But it is fun things and healthy swaps for your home as well. I'm always sharing
Yeah.
that too. And all my fitness stuff as well. I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
I'm still loving it. I got a new program I'm starting on April 1st. So
Yay.
it's not an April Fool's joke either.
I'm actually going to be out there. I love seeing those videos. What was it that you made the other day? It was the chocolate dates.
Oh my gosh.
Those looked amazing.
You have to make them. They're caramel oat date bars, or like
Okay.
little
So there's not even
bites.
chocolate in it. The date is what tastes like the chocolate. Is that
No,
right?
there's chocolate on the outside. You dip them in chocolate. We
Oh,
love
perfect.
chocolate around here.
Okay, perfect.
But the date, when you soften them,
Mhm.
it turns into like a caramel.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's not actually caramel in it. It's the
No,
date
it's
that
the
has
date.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's
I
amazing.
love a good date. Like
I-
I love bacon wrap dates.
Oh,
Like
bacon wrapped anything. Sign me up.
also
But the
that.
dates honestly are so good. And I feel like I didn't understand that I really liked them until I was pregnant, because they help induce labor. So I was
No
like,
way.
yeah, I was like, how can
Okay.
I get as many dates as possible into
Yeah.
my
I
body?
mean, I'm asking myself how many dates I could get, but it's for men and it's not going well. It's fine.
We need all dates in every
We need
form.
all.
Bacon wrapped and take me out to dinner. Thank you.
That's right. That's right. Haley, is there anything that we haven't said that you want to say? I feel like we've covered a lot of
I
ground,
feel
but
like we have. I feel like we're good.
this is going to be so helpful and just like a fun listen, I feel like, for people. And seriously, if you're listening and have questions, reach out to me and I'll point you to Haley, or you can just reach out directly to Haley. And yeah, that's just going to be so good. I have one final question for you,
Yes.
because the show is called Love That For You. What is something, I'll ask the question really slow so you can think about
I
it.
know. I'm like,
I'm just kidding.
what?
What
What am I
is
loving?
something in your life that you're just loving right now? I mean, it could be a TV show, it could be a place to travel to, it could be a nail polish. What are you
I
loving?
do love a good nail polish. I honestly think right now, since we are in that pivotal time in Charlotte, the changing of the season, like the daylight savings time, my heart and soul,
It's a gift.
they feel so much better.
Mhm.
The amount of rejuvenation my body feels when it's 7 o'clock and the sun is still out,
It's incredible.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it does something
Yeah.
to my body and
Yeah.
to my brain.
Here's my question. There's been a lot of talk about how daylight saving is actually like harmful and we don't need it and we should get rid of it, which I feel like I don't have a side on that, but I'm just curious, and I don't know if you know this. If we were to end it, would it stay this way or would it go back to where it's darker all the time?
The only way I will sign anything is if it stays like
That's what
this.
I'm
I
saying.
don't want the opposite. Do that
Yes.
to me and I will
So
find
if
you.
canceling it means that it's always this, send me
We're good.
send
I
me
will sign the contract.
the
I will petition.
contract.
I'll petition for it, honestly.
I'll go outside right now with my
I
little
will go
ruler.
door to door, keep daylight savings. I need this sign.
We need it. Oh my
Honestly.
goodness. Yeah, I am a very big seasonal person. Like that
Yeah.
seasonal depression is real. Just like that
Yes.
darkness is just I am not the like, oh, it's cold and dark and rainy and I'm going to read a book. Maybe one day out of the year I feel like that,
Yeah,
but
no.
not for an entire
That's
season.
survival season.
Yeah.
We're in thriving
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Thank you,
My
Jesus, for
my
the
my
sun.
fight or flight was real in
And now
December.
I'm like, I'm going to take a flight to the beach and I'm going to fight to stay there longer.
Yes.
That's what it is.
That's perfect. Oh my gosh. That's perfect. Haley, you're awesome. I'm so glad that we're friends and that you are like such a light on your social media platform and that you would take time out to come chat with me. I
Oh my gosh, of
appreciate it.
course. This was the highlight of my year so far.
Oh,
So fun. So fun.
Thanks for listening to this episode, friends. If you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share the love with your friends and family. Remember, life is all about the stories we create and share, so let's keep spreading inspiration and positivity. See you next week.